Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, let's talk about these winds. They're pretty gusty out there this morning as we've got a cold front on approach. Winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour around the Salt Lake Valley. We've had that same story down towards the West Desert. In fact, places like Cedar City seeing those winds gusting well over 50 miles per hour this morning here. Currently, we're seeing those winds calming down just a little bit in spots, but still winds gusting over 40 miles per hour in Salt Lake City, down towards Milford as well. But we're seeing a slight decrease for now. But winds are likely going to pick up across eastern Utah as we go throughout later this afternoon. So we do have wind alerts in effect for eastern Utah that will continue through this afternoon hours as well. So be aware of that. So the winds of change are here, and that is going to be bringing some changes to the weather forecast. We're starting to see these temperatures dropping off now from Cache Valley down towards the Ogden Valley, where you were in the 40s earlier. Now you're down into the 30s. We're seeing those 30s out towards Wendover and 20s over towards northeastern Nevada. So colder air knocking on the door just now, spilling over into Utah. We've got low 40s along the Wasatch Front. Temperatures in the upper 20s to low 30s from Escalante to Cedar City. We're already seeing some of that heavier snow coming on in. All right, forewarned radar shows us the moisture increasing from the south with that snow, some heavy snow down between Cedar City and portions of Kane County. We've got some of that heavier snow now beginning to filter in across northwestern Utah and across the mountains as well. So let's take you down here. Look at this heavy, heavy band of snow. This is a half an inch to an inch per hour snow rates coming down here. This is just south of Cedar City over towards Panguitch and back down towards the Springdale area. That's lifting north and east up towards Escalante. So heads up near Bryce Canyon. Yeah, roads are not going to get any better anytime soon in that region. We've got that snow filling in across the Wasatch back. I-80 heading up towards southwest Wyoming, also seeing some of that heavier snow. The darker blues indicate that snow rate increasing out there. Now notice we still kind of got this little hole showing up here along the Wasatch Front, but see how it's kind of closing in? That lets us know that that precipitation is getting closer and closer to making it to the ground. So I'd say over the next hour or two, we'll start to see some precipitation, probably starting off as a little rain-snow mix along the Wasatch Front, then ramping back up to pretty much snow pretty quickly. And then we've got more moisture filtering in from the west of the Great Salt Lake. You can see more of that activity extending back into Nevada. That will be shifting on off towards the east and northeast, impacting us along the Wasatch Front from the morning through the midday time frame. So let's look at the big picture. Here's the storm system making its way on in. The front moving through now. That's what's ahead of the front, producing those high winds. Behind the front, the colder air, and yes, the snow band developing. And we'll see that increasing between now and about lunchtime. During the lunchtime hour, if you've got plans, maybe heading out and about, just know that that's probably a time I would avoid traveling anywhere really across the area, as we're going to be looking at that potential snow squall or two making its way through northern Utah. So what is a snow squall? Well, we're talking short periods of intense snowfall. That means that snow comes down hard and heavy at times and pretty fast. And, of course, we're talking about it brings gusty winds and also near whiteout conditions. Now, it's usually in a pretty small area from time to time, but when you are traveling and you run across that, that's when your visibility drops off really quickly. That's when you can see that accumulation pile up pretty quickly, and then you can have some problems. So it creates some extremely dangerous driving conditions. And I want you to be aware that could be a possibility around the midday time frame across northern Utah. You see what I mean on Futurecast? We've got the moisture filling in across the state here this morning, but notice by lunchtime, that's when we can start to see these pockets of darker blue showing up here along the Wasatch Front. That's where we can see those short periods of intense snowfall coming down and those snow squalls moving on through. So again, just kind of plan accordingly for that. This afternoon, we'll still have some off and on snow showers with that northwesterly flow, but hopefully we're not going to be dealing with too many snow squalls during that time. We get a little bit of a break from the storm system here as we move into your Thursday before our next storm approaches Thursday night into Friday, bringing especially central and southern Utah a good chance of accumulating snow and some light snow accumulations possible even across northern Utah up towards the I-80 corridor as that system rotates through Thursday into Friday. But let's get through today's storm system first, with about 2 to 5 inches in the northern valleys. The central valleys looking at about 2 to 4 inches for you. Southern valleys about 2 to 6 inches. The benches looking at about 5 to 10 inches. If you're in the Wasatch back below 7,000 feet, about 5 to 8 inches. Above 7,000 feet, 8 to 16 inches expected. Cache Valley about 3 to 8 inches. And along the I-15 corridor, that's the Ogden Valley, the Salt Lake Valley, Utah County on the valley floors, about 1 to 4. A little more than that as you get higher up off of the valley floors. All right, St. George, a couple of rain and maybe even a few snowflakes mixed in today. I think it's actually a better chance for that Thursday night into Friday with that second system. The weekend, the sunshine returns. It's warm, temperatures in the 50s, and primarily dry conditions. Otherwise, the Wasatch Front accumulating snow will be likely for your Wednesday, especially as we get towards late this morning into the early afternoon hours. A little break on Thursday, and then we'll be tracking that next chance of potential light snow on your Friday before we improve a little bit heading into the weekend. All right, let's get a check now on what's happening with your traffic. You'll be able to see here again. We've got fairly quiet conditions showing up here across the state. Across most of north and central Utah, the roads are looking pretty good, surprisingly, but southwest Utah is kind of the primary area that we're keeping a very close eye on the potential of a couple of delays, especially that I-15 corridor near and around Washington County, heading up into portions of Iron County, where both north and southbound are continuing to show some delays due to some of the issues that are showing up there with the weather right now. So we're going to keep an eye on that for you as we progress throughout the morning time hours, as we keep you updated here across the area with your traffic here throughout the region, and that trend will continue for us as we progress throughout the morning. So that's kind of the way traffic is shaping up right now. I'll send it back over to you.